Hello to everybody there. This is going to be my first video for Rosie Sales. My name is Jim, and I'm the owner of a CT54 that I will be slowly refitting over the next 2 years, basically. The boat's name is Audrey Rose, named it after my youngest daughter. Reason why she was the one who got the honor of that is she has trisomy 21, or also known as Down syndrome. The initial videos that we're going to be doing are going to be basically a refit. And I'm going to go over some of the things and techniques that I've learned and done over the years. Not necessarily promoting anybody or any one thing, but I will definitely be putting props out there to those who have helped me or to products that I find that work for me. There's always something better. And so we'll just see from there, what have you. I've told a lot of friends and family the production value of these is going to be nothing. There is no production value. I'm going to videotape what I'm doing, when I'm doing it, how I'm doing it, chop edit it together, and then put a video together that'll be anywhere from 10 to 15 minutes long, probably. Probably once a month, maybe a little more if I start seeing a lot more interest in the material. And it appears that repair and refit of sailing vessels and vessels in general is a pretty high commodity on YouTube. I think where we'll see our numbers go down is when the sailing starts and the adventure side of it, at least from what I've been told. There's only a few sailing channels that do very well with that, the big ones, Delos and what have you. So I'll be reading from notes because I don't have all this in my brain, and I'm going to try and hit all the different things as we go along. This is going to be a bit choppy because I have no idea what I'm doing here. It's going to be, like I said, chop edited. I'm going to go ahead and have little bits of this, little bits of that. You're going to see a photo here or there. I hope to get better as time goes on, but basically I'll be using a tablet and a phone for all the video at this point in time. No reason for me to spend money on expensive equipment. I think I have 5 viewers, so hi all 5 of you. We have a website, okay, and that is www.svaudreyrose.com. And we also have a Instagram account, and the Instagram account is Sailing Audrey Rose, and that's sailing _ Audrey _ Rose, and you'll find us there. Have almost 100 followers. We're moving right along. I'll be going over the refit as I go through it. I'll have a few pictures to post here in this video in just a few moments, and you'll see a timing chain cover for our Lehman 120. I received one, I purchased one through eBay, and it was supposed to be in a little better condition than what I received. And I'll show you the before pictures and the after pictures. I do not have any video of what was done, but I will explain the process if anybody is interested. And I'll tell you the products I used and what I have had good use, good results with before. So people have been asking a bunch of questions, friends and family have been, about what we intend to do and what I'm doing next, and what the plans are. Like I said, it's going to be about 2 years of refit, possibly a little bit more. I'm in the process of getting everything ready for retirement. Retirement's looking like 7 years from now, possibly 7, 8 years. I'm hoping to do it right when I hit about 58, 59, somewhere in that neighborhood. So the boat is a part of that retirement, and that is actually a big part of it, and that's the reason why I'm able to do a lot of things I'm able to do to her now and need to get done before retirement starts, because I do still have a job, full-time employment at this point in time. People have asked me if I plan to monetize. I have no idea. If I have 5 people watching, I don't think we're going to be monetizing very much. Will we be interested in sponsors? It's open. The only trick is that if I do find a sponsor, or if somebody wants to sponsor me and what I'm doing, they're going to have to understand I am going to be truthful. So if the product they want me to promote does not live up to my expectations, I will drop them as a sponsor. The money's not that important to me. I would rather make sure that people are getting what they want out of a product than to go ahead and just promote something because somebody's giving me some money. Just not going to play that game. There are going to be a lot of products that I inadvertently promote because I want people to be able to use what I'm using, and I won't be getting any money out of it. I just want to make sure people are using the products that will make it work better for them, or at least come up with the results that I've come up with. Again, I don't think these are the best products, but sometimes, but they are what have worked for me, and I can only go off of that. With many of the things that we're going to cover, it'll be there'll be more than one technique to do something, and I'm always open to positive, open suggestion. I don't deal with trolls well. If you decide you want to get on and be argumentative and rude to myself, my children, what have you, we're just not going to entertain that. I don't care how good your information is. I don't care if you have a check for me. Not going to happen. And I'm not going to let you be that way to anybody else who's watching us either, or any of the other channels that I watch. And I will be promoting other channels as we go, even though I don't receive anything from it, because it's just good information. And that's where I'm receiving some of my information. A lot of it has been from reading. I'm an avid reader. So many of the books that I have gone through and I have gotten my information from, I will be mentioning throughout the videos. If somebody has a question about something, where did I learn that technique, or why do I think that works best for me? A lot of times it's going to be experience. I have done so much of what I'm doing now many times before, but then a lot of it has been learned as well from book knowledge. I've gone ahead and taken the time to read. So one of the things that my job does afford me is gives me an opportunity to do some reading. So that's where a lot of that comes from. A lot of times I'm asked, Jim, why do you do things this way? It takes so much longer for you to do it that way. You could just do it this way and get sailing right now. And that is true. On a lot of things, that is true. But the reality is, my son had asked me something like this, very similar, many, many years ago. He goes, Dad, why do you clean the engine of your car? And I didn't have the right response for him at that time, but really looking back on it, the real response is because I like it that way. I don't care if anybody else likes it that way. I'm not doing this for anybody else. I'm doing this for me and for my children. So, many of the things you're going to see me do, you're going to be, oh, Jim, you could have just saved so much time and done it this way, and it would have been adequate. And that's fine. And I understand that. And I don't begrudge anybody for doing something that is adequate, that works for them and is safe. No problem whatsoever. I have a tendency to go a little bit farther, a little bit overboard, as you'll see. I'm kind of a tool nut, so I have a lot of tools to do a certain job. I'll be bringing a lot of those along with me. The purpose is, my boat is large, and the purpose is I want to help as many people as I possibly can out there on the water. I see a lot of young people out there sailing, and they have a lot more sailing experience than I do crossing oceans on sailboats, but they get themselves into a little bit of a bind here or there with some of their repairs. One of the primary repairs that I see that needs to be done, and it seems to be over and over and over again in all these videos, are outboards. Their outboards are always fussing them. And 9 times out of 10, it's the carburetor. I'll have an actual hot tank or a sonic cleaner on board my boat, and we will be able to pull somebody's carburetor off their boat, off their little outboard, put it in that sonic tank, fire it up. 30 minutes later, after probably a little bit of disassembly, blow it all out, put it back on, and I can almost guarantee it's going to run, and it's going to run really well. The biggest challenge with those carburetors are the little tiny passages. How do I know this? Well, I resurrected 4 little Hondas of my own because I let ethanol fuel coagulate in them, and they didn't run. So, that's where I figured that out. Probably watched a YouTube video as well, and so and those are kind of some of the things that I want to do. I want to be able to help others as well with their projects and their dreams. So many of the things I do it's gonna be overboard, things that people just don't think are necessary. My goal will be with Rosie is to get her as absolutely close to a proper modern new boat as possible. To give examples of what's being done right now, the masts are off of her right now. They're going to be refurbished. We've already purchased a new boom, main boom, because the old boom was kind of Swiss cheese. The mizzen boom right now is Swiss cheese, but we should be able to repair that. It looks like we're going to be able to repair that one. The staysail kicker is in good shape, but we're going to modify that a little bit to put a roller furling on her. So I'm going to put all new wires on, all new rigging. It's being done by a professional rigger. I will go up the masts, both of them, to inspect once done. Not that I don't trust the fella who's doing the work. The guy will be Jonas in Trinidad at Powerboat Yard, and he's outstanding. There is no two ways about that. But you have to trust and verify, so I have to check. I have to check that stuff. So you'll see me going up the mast, chances are, and I'll be taking looks at things and taking photographs and getting things together. So all new rig, all new turnbuckles. We're going to do all new chain plates. We're actually taking the chain plates from inboard to outboard. The chain plates are going to be made out of bronze instead of stainless steel. I have a problem trusting stainless steel. I don't like corrosion, crevice corrosion. And the plates that were on this boat were extremely thick. And I've had many people say, oh, they're going to last you forever. Maybe, but maybe not. And all it takes is one invisible crack that it's impossible to see without x-raying. And these are actually molded into the boat. So it's not one you can just go ahead and unbolt, take into the x-ray shop and have them x-rayed. No, these are fiberglassed into the hull. So what we're going to do there is we're actually going to bob them just under the deck, seal the deck on top, try and cut down on some of the leaks, and then externally mount them. This style of boat lends itself to that look and that appearance, and be that they'll be bronze, they'll match the ports. We have 14 ports going down port, 7 down each side, port and starboard, and then the 4 massive galleon windows in the back. Those are all solid bronze. All of the external bronze, with a few exceptions, are all going to be allowed to patina and turn that nice bronze green. It's less maintenance, easier to handle, and you can always polish them out later if you wish. So, new rigging, masts refurbished, 2 booms, kicker boom, and then the mizzen boom refurbished, and then a brand new main boom. We also have already had made the solid teak bowsprit. That's brand new, and that'll be going on the boat. Still haven't made the pulpit for it yet. That's going to go on. Changing the location of the anchors. The anchors used to go through the pulpit, and I wanted to remove some of the tripping hazard of that. And with a big, beautiful bowsprit, which is about that big around, there's plenty of room for a saddle roller underneath. Again, bronze, and then that way we'll be able to put the anchors underneath the pulpit, so you can walk clear out on it without any obstruction. To the inside of the boat, all the wiring's being redone, every bit of it. It's a 40-year-old boat. Chances are it's not copper wire anymore, it's probably black wire, and or green wire, and those of you who've dealt with it know exactly what I'm talking about. Everything will be changed over to tin on copper wire throughout the boat. I already have a good majority of the connectors I'm going to use. I'm using a crimp-on connector with a heat shrink sheathing on it that has a glue inside to go ahead and cut down on moisture issues inside the connection. Asked why not solder. I guess I can cover that right now. Solder isn't flexible, and it will melt many times before a breaker blows that is used to go ahead and protect the wire. So if that were to happen and there was some sort of situation, a bilge pump that you had to have running, and all of a sudden that soldered joint that you had lets go, even though the wire wasn't about ready to catch fire or anything like that, now you've just lost your bilge pump in a possible emergency situation. The other issue is with solders, it's not flexible. That's the reason why ABYC does not recommend, or I believe they even allow, to get their rating, solder. So everything will be crimp and ring terminal for 99% of everything. The spade terminals will only be used on things like, say, for instance, the switches that are actually on the engine itself, oil pressure, temperature, things like that. Those will be spade connectors, and those will be the same type, though. They will actually be crimped with the coating and the glue. So all new wiring, all new panel. The panel needs to be replaced. The old one's 40 years old. It did her job, and she did it well for 2 families. I believe my boat was owned by 2. I know for a fact the other family, obviously. And I think it's only been 2 families. It might have been a third, but I'm not too sure. The boat was in South Africa, and then she was of Australian registry, and now she's U.S. registry. The other things we're going to go ahead and replace, as well as the wiring. Now, the wiring I'm doing myself. A little bit particular on this, and I'm going to make sure it's done a certain way so I know where things are and can get at them if necessary. The plumbing. I'm gonna go ahead and redo all the plumbing, the water plumbing for fresh water, raw water, etc. All the indoor plumbing, such as your faucets and everything like that. I'm switching over to PEX. Most of your major boat companies and builders are using PEX now. Every home uses it now. It's very easy to repair, very flexible, very forgiving. So the boat right now has PVC, copper, and something I couldn't identify. So that will be coming out as well. Let's see, so that's being redone. The engine right now is down to its block. Okay, the pistons and crank are still in place, and everything rotates fine. The head's been rebuilt. I have brand new, not brand new injectors that have been rebuilt as well. And then everything else, other than the fuel injector pump, is going to be brought down new with me. I'm buying all that just so it's out there from American Diesel. They are kind of the people to go to for the Lehman. And the engine is a 6-cylinder Ford Lehman 120. Nice basic engine, slow moving, slow RPM, reasonable on fuel, reasonably clean burning for its age. You know, it's not going to be, you know, it's not one of the brand new Volvo Pentas, but the fact is that it is very simple to work on, very easy, and so the goal is, as you'll see in time, the goal is for me to get there to the boat. The intention was to bring my children with me, and it sounded like one of their cousins was coming as well. Let them all know it wasn't going to be a pleasure cruise. We were actually working, and we have to clean the boat. The boat has to be cleaned out. The family we bought the boat from, their intention was to continue sailing on. Life got in the way, as it can so often. And so their boat my boat now, was their boat, has all their personal effects on board. So first job, whatever hasn't been ruined by sitting for 4 years will be packaged up and put in boxes aside for the previous family. I will talk to the family if I can mention them in the videos as we go on. I think I'll be able to, but for right now, for the privacy, I'll leave it alone at that. And so we need to pack all that up. And once that's all packed up, we're going to see what of the linens I can save. The boat sat for 4 years, 2 years kind of buttoned up, so things are going to be musty. There's no way around that. 2 dehumidifiers were put into the boat about 18 months ago, possibly 2 years ago, and so that helped with the moisture content inside. When I walked aboard last February, there were no foul smells or anything like that. It just smelled a little musty. It smelled like a boat, what I kind of expected. So we'll go ahead and pull all that out, all the linens. Probably, if I have some kids with me, probably have the kids go over to the laundromat, get all that stuff washed up, see what we can save and salvage. And then we're going to sweep and clean up everything. One of the things I had done while I'm not there to the boat is I had the boat yard do some of the work. And so there's a lot of things that have been removed. To give a good example, so we can get to those chain plates. We need to be able to get to those so we can bob off the top of them. And so there's a lot of things out of place right now. And I want to get there, get all that cleaned up and cleaned out. And then probably start on the engine project. I think that is really going to be number one at this point. I want to get the engine cleaned out, buttoned up, and put together and run. I want to fire it up. I'm going to fire it up off of jerry cans. I have not flushed the tanks yet. The hoses still haven't been replaced. All that has to be done still. So there'll be a lot of disassembly and cleanup, disassembly and cleanup. And the engine, again, will probably be project one once I get that together. And the entire engine bottom has to be completely cleaned, de-rusted, and painted. Again, sat for 4 years, so it's what's expected. So that will be the first big project. So get it all cleaned up, buttoned together, fired up. Once she's running, and I'm comfortable with it, and the drips are minimal, they're going to drip, I'm going to go ahead and then do the bilge. The whole bilge needs to be completely cleaned and surfaced. I'm going to use an epoxy paint on it, and for proper PPE and everything else. And so that will be the next big project. Possibly be able to get those 3 items: clean the boat, pack the boat up, clean the boat. I consider that kind of one item. Get the engine cleaned and painted, and then the engine running. That's another item. And then go ahead and clean the bilge and paint it. So that's item number 3. I guess those are 6 items, however you want to look at it. So I'd like to do that in 1 week. We'll see how things go. If I can get my 4 oldest children and one of their cousins down there for a week, I can get it done. That's a done deal. If it's just me and I'm having to pay a yard hand, we'll see how it goes. I'll be lucky to get 2 of those items done, if I'm lucky. So that's the current thing. Everybody asks me, so when have you been to boat last? Last time I was at the boat was last February of 2020. Trinidad is still locked down. I just spoke with the boatyard the other day, Power Boats, where the boat is, and they said it's looking like they're going to probably stay locked down for a little while longer at this point, which is very unfortunate. There's a lot of people trying to get to their boats down there. I'm not the only one, obviously, and so it's frustrating. Hopefully before the end of the year I can get down there. That's what I would like to do. We'll see how all that goes. After the refit videos, it'll be Audrey's adventures. That's pretty much it. Audrey and my other children. That's really going to be the majority of the adventures. We'll probably digress and do what didn't work in the refit and what I'm having to redo. Go ahead and document the haul outs. Right now she's on the hard, as they say. In other words, she's out of the water. So I'll document those as we go, because again, those get a lot of hits, and that's what you're trying to go for, is trying to get your stuff out there and help people out. That's the whole idea. Let's see how many people we can help out with some of this stuff. I've watched couples from Follow the Boat. They do a wonderful job, and they have helped me on so many issues. I greatly appreciate what Liz and Jamie have done. Fair Isle, Sailing Fair Isle, they've done a wonderful job. Steve and Judy are just outstanding, and some of the little problems he's had. His boat is very similar to my boat in many ways, and so that is it's just great information to get from them. So I'm trying to maybe fill a niche that they don't quite fill, but go over a little bit more of the possible maintenance and the refit. Jamie has mentioned before that he really doesn't like doing that side of it. I'm thinking, well, that might be where I work out pretty well in this sailing world of YouTube, which there are quite a few channels out there. I will never be to the quality of what they're doing. That's not going to happen. My goal will be to shoot the video, do a little audio, possibly voiceover, and splice it together, try and get it halfway presentable, put a few little blurbs in for the website and the Instagram, and send it up to YouTube, see what happens. So it's going to be interesting. The whole thing is going to be an adventure. Another question I get: why didn't we do this before? Why, Jim? Why did you take so long to buy the boat? Love to tell you, I have no idea. It took forever, but the reality was things happened in a certain way. A few select friends and family know that this is the exact model of boat I've wanted for over 30 years. And so what's exciting is that I find this boat in a location that I'm working in, Trinidad. It's the right boat in the right country. It's outside the hurricane zone, in the right boatyard, and it was owned by the right family. I mean, it was just an absolute perfect storm of the right things, and it just all fell into place. So that's kind of the short answer. The long answer, I don't know. And that is where the boat comes from. That's how we end up getting the boat. Well, if you've made it this far, congratulations. I had no idea how long I was going until I started putting all that together. So I'm going to make this quick. I'll go ahead and throw out another video here in probably a few weeks, maybe a month or so. I will be down south, so I won't have the opportunity to have fast internet until we hit Trinidad. So I'll do my best with that. Anyway, I want to thank you all for watching. If you would, I'm going to do what they all do. If you'll hit the subscribe button and a like, we'd really appreciate it. And if you would share this also with other people, we'd appreciate that as well. See if we can get, by the way, we're at 8 people now, 8 subscribers. So see if we can get past those 8 subscribers. And again, if you've made it this long, thank you very much. And I'll be long-winded again next time as well, apparently. So take it easy, everybody. See you later. Bye-bye.